Hi, my name's Eric, and I have a confession. And usually when I have a confession, it's a nice little hook to get you into this video, and it's usually a cheesy pun or something really wacky and wild, but this is actually a true confession. I am a recovering arrogant jerk. Yep, it's true. You see this guy? This guy is 100% me and 100% arrogant. Now, don't get me wrong. This guy, AKA my nickname, which you will never call me, Domo, this guy had a ton of success. Trophies after trophies after trophies after trophies. And that's not me bragging. That's just me being objective.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get it up.
Statistically speaking, I was one of the top competitive speech and debate coaches in the nation. And I also did it with a lot of arrogance and aggression. I mention this because as I coach clients in their confidence and communication, the question always comes up: how do I balance confidence without being arrogant? Today, we're going to talk about the difference between confidence and arrogance and how you can check yourself to make sure that you're not a current or recovering arrogant jerk. So first, let's take a look at the origin of confidence. The origin of confidence isn't just the fact that you are assured of your own skills and talents, that you are not just willing to showcase what you can do to others, but it is to do that for others. In other words, confidence is about service. If you are great at something, if you know you are the absolute best that there is, it is completely appropriate and really required in most situations for you to raise your hand in leadership and say, I'm the person.
So pick me, choose me, love me.
I'm the person to lead us through this path. I have the experience, I have the skills, I have the talents. Let me be the one to guide us to that. Now, some people might see that as arrogant, but keep in mind that our perceptions of arrogance are simply a reflection of ourselves. In other words, if other people perceive you to be arrogant, that's partially their issues to you, not for you. If you are offering your skills and talents for service to your team, your community, your family, then it's not arrogance, because arrogance has a completely different origin. And let's talk about that, the origin of arrogance. And I can speak to this with great authority. Remember this guy, Domo? He was confident, cocky, and he had the results to prove his skills. But 99% of what he did was fueled by, drum roll please, one of our best friends, fear. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Fear is natural and fear is important to all leadership. It signifies to us where we get to go and where we get to grow. But if our primary motivation is fear, then we are going to be showcasing our skills and talents not for service of others, but for service to ourselves. When I was coaching, yes, I was serving and equipping others with powerful tools to help them speak up their stories and gain confidence to achieve their dreams. All of that was true. However, I recognized that a lot of my coaching strategies were because I was afraid that other people were going to find out that I wasn't as good as I thought I was. And even when that wasn't the case, I was afraid that any slip in our record, that any sort of mistake that we would make would negatively impact me and other people's perception of me. So I became arrogant. If anybody tried to challenge me, I would bulldoze them. I'd have no discussions whatsoever from anyone who chose to challenge my points of view. And my primary strategy for getting my way was just being really, really loud and reminding them of how great my record was. Now, this is a key moment here because while I feel a lot of guilt for behaving the way that I did for many years, I also understand that this feeling comes back often if I am not careful. Which brings us to our third and final point. How do you balance confidence and arrogance? First, you got to evaluate, where is my service coming from? Is my service primarily to others, or is my service primarily to myself? Notice that I use the term primarily. As a keynote speaker and as a coach, my role is to serve and equip my audiences and my clients. Now, do I get any personal benefit from that? Absolutely. I am a professional speaker, so I get paid to speak in front of stages and to coach clients. But my primary directive is to make sure that I am showcasing the tools and experiences so that my audiences and my clients can get the best out of my time. If my primary motivation is just to me, and frankly, I've seen quite a few speakers who operate under that primary operation system, then I would just talk about myself the entire time I was on stage. And I would make every single coaching session about me and what I know. Again, we all venture in that land of arrogance. What is key is, am I doing this for the person, or am I doing this for myself? As always, make sure that you hit subscribe and stay up to date on all content related to communication, confidence, and storytelling. Until next time, make sure that you come off mute and speak up your story. See you soon.